Good morning. Apologies if you can hear the rain. I just thought I'd do like a little add-in to the vlog this week because I'm now at 32 weeks and I'm absolutely exhausted. I don't know if you can see the bump that well. Like, look at that. I'm just wide. But I'm just struggling to sleep. I've been trying to tire myself out during the day. I'll be exhausted during the day. But as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm not asleep. I'll be asleep for a bit and then I'll get heartburn, then I'll need a wee, then I just can't get comfy, then I get hot. It's just relentless. And I'm really struggling with the lack of sleep. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm not a good tired person at all. So I'm really struggling with this bit, and I feel like we've still got 8 more weeks to go, and I looked over there because we've got a countdown, which is like 7 and 5 days now, which is insane. And obviously a due date is only a rough guide. In one of our classes the other day, the teacher said that the baby could arrive from 37 weeks onwards, and that isn't considered early or late, it's just, or whatever. It's just, you know, babies are ready from that point. Which means I've got like 4 weeks. And that's getting real now. So yeah, I thought I'd add this into the clip because I'm absolutely shattered and you can probably see it in my face. But I wanted to add it in just to kind of remind myself that if I think this is tired, I'm sure when the baby's here there's going to be a whole other world to being tired. But at least then I won't be working or having to do anything apart from just keep the baby happy. That's fine. It's trying to live and keep going in the middle of it all that I'm finding really tough, because there's so much work I want to do, there's so many things I want to achieve before the baby gets here, and I'm just, at night time I'll be like, right, that's what I want to do tomorrow, and I'll wake up like, yeah, that ain't happening today, is it? So it's hard, and it's mentally like wearing me down a little bit because I just don't know how much less tiredness. It's not that I'm not getting any sleep at all, it's just the sleep I'm getting is crap. So yes, that is it for now. Me and this whacking great bump. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, hope you're doing well. Today is the 31/32 week update. I wanted to kind of do these weekly to an extent. I think I mentioned it last time. I want to keep on top of the updates just so that when I look back in years to come I can kind of remember what happened, and with the final sort of few weeks coming I wanted to really document what happens and how the bump grows and all that good stuff. So as I say, we're on week 32 now, 32 weeks and 3 or 4 days. So the clock is literally ticking. We're at 7 weeks to go until the due date, which obviously is just a date, doesn't really mean all that much. As so many people keep telling me, everyone keeps saying when you due, but I kind of just say mid-September because I don't want to keep saying to everyone the actual date. I'm sure you could all figure it out if you're clever enough at maths. But what I don't want is on that day everyone saying, is she here yet, is she here yet? Like, she will turn up when she wants to turn up. So we're working on that date, and yeah, time is absolutely flying. The biggest change of obviously the last few weeks is this room. You can see that we now have furniture, which I've been complaining about for so long because it was a 2-month delay. And then they just finally turned up. We didn't have any sort of real dispatch note, it was just here. And yeah, loving it. I finally have somewhere. In that sort of corner just behind there is the dresser, which has got nappies on, as you can see, and I've been able to start putting things away and pottering around, and I'll do a full nursery tour when this room is a bit more put together, just because there's bags and boxes and bits in places they're not going to end up. So when everything's kind of a bit more settled and has its home, then I'll do the full tour, because obviously the snooze pod, which is behind me as well, will be going into our room. But we just don't need it next to us just yet because we're not there yet. So at the moment the tripod is basically attached to the Moses basket, but I really like filming in this room. It gets amazing light and it's just nice to be in here and start seeing it come together, like the crib and the wardrobe and bits as well. So it's been nice to actually have a place to put stuff, make her room hers, and it's just come together exactly how I wanted to. Like the colours all go nicely, and yeah, it's just making it feel a lot more real and positive now, especially before it's just boxes and it looked a bit excessive, but now it's away, it doesn't look as bad. And if anything, have I got enough, have I not got enough? We'll never know, but I'm happy to start being able to tinker and wash clothing and stuff, so it's been good. It's probably going to be a short update in some ways because week 31, which was last week, not much happened in some ways. The biggest thing I'm feeling now is just feeling big. And I'm not even massive in some respects, but I am getting increasingly tired, my back will ache, and it's just more of a struggle to do things. Over the weekend I was really in probably in a bit of a mood, and I wanted to get so much done. I wish the house was tidier and cleaner, but I'm just as much a culprit for, you know, not keeping on top of it as Dan is, and it just becomes a vicious circle of constantly tidying, cleaning, doing it all again, and trying to live but also don't overdo it. And I think I was getting increasingly frustrated because I want to accomplish so much. These are the weeks I want to get those hard bits done, and then, you know, you get tired and your body's like, slow down, and the next day I was absolutely zonked and just needed to stop. But it's really hard to stop, because you just get bored, or, you know, we've been in lockdown, so I want to be doing things, not sitting down for however many weeks, because I've done that already. So that's been hard to kind of tell myself to slow down, but I am trying. The bump has been heavy in places where it's like, some days she'll just kick me to death and it'll be like, please can you just calm down for a little bit, which obviously kicks are better than no kicks, but some days I just feel a bit overwhelmed by the amount of kicks and think, blimey, is she going to be a handful, or is she just look like running out of room? But obviously it's good that she is kicking so much. Yeah, as I say, the only other real changes have been heartburn is still a bugbear, and sleep pretty much doesn't exist anymore. I do sleep, like I put my head to the pillow and eventually I'll fall asleep, but like last night I had the worst heartburn as soon as I went to bed. It's as soon as my head hits the pillow the heartburn kicks off, and it was just unbearable and there's nothing I could do. Gaviscon, I'm literally swigging it at this point, like bottle by the side of the bed, trying to swig it like it's alcohol. It's not touching it at all, which is more frustrating. Normally I can have like a swig at about 2 AM and that will kind of calm it, but last night nothing calmed it and I was getting frustrated, and then you're awake and it's just constant and going for a wee every 2 hours. So that's hard. I think I'm finding it hard not having enough energy. And I suppose on that note as well, I am finding it hard to switch off from work, in the respect that I will have to stop soon. Probably got about 4 or 5 weeks until I don't go into the office anymore, and then I'll just be sort of ticking by until baby pops out, basically. And I've obviously worked freelance, self-employed and on the business for 2 years, 2.5 years I think now, and it's always kind of been my like first baby, and I've got it to the point where I really love it and all the things I've done on it, and I'm really proud of it, and you know, like stats are amazing and everything's going really well, and now I'm like stopping and stepping away, and like I won't be able to touch my emails, I won't be able to just dip in as much as I want to. I thought with maternity pay, as in maternity allowance, I'd be able to keep on working, but you can't work at all and keep the allowance. And obviously I want to spend as much time with the baby when she's here, but I think until she's here it's hard to get your head around why you'd want to not work at all, which sounds silly, but it's until your kind of mindset changes. At the moment I'm very career driven, and I feel extremely fortunate that I have a career at the moment, because the world is in a crazy way, especially with media and journalism. It's a hard industry to stay in at the current moment, and so I'm very thankful I've got the magazines. And so it's weird to kind of step away from them, and I'm finding that very hard because I've just been so career driven for a long time, and to have a complete change of mindset which will just come overnight is very weird. And I can imagine I'll just be sitting there in September like, I just want to say stuff but I shouldn't, because you know, I need to step away in order to be able to relax and like focus on baby. So weird, but I'm enjoying the changeover, and hopefully I will come back after 6 or 9 months and feel happy that, you know, I can step back into everything as it was. So it's weird, but obviously very thankful that I've still got work to do for the moment, and looking forward to having a break, because I haven't really stopped in some ways. Lockdown we kept going, and being self-employed you have to keep going. No one can furlough you, you can't furlough yourself, so it's what it is. But besides that, as I say, not much has changed. I'm just growing, feeling tired and heartburn, and obviously tinkering around in this room, which has been fun. So feeling more positive, still not loving the restrictions, and probably the best note to end this update on is that I'm looking to do a home birth for multiple reasons, not just corona, but we've been doing NCT classes, which is probably another note to remember, doing NCT classes online through Zoom, which have been good to kind of have that experience because all antenatal classes have been cancelled. And obviously that's cost us, but it's been useful to just have those like snippets of information we wouldn't have known otherwise. And one of the big emphasis on NCT and hypnobirthing is that you want to have a positive birth. Probably heard that phrase being thrown around quite a lot. And my version of a positive birth at the moment, with everything going on, is a home birth. And ideally I want a water birth. I've thought about a water birth in a hospital initially, but I've had so many appointments where I just feel like I'm not a priority, and I'm sure it's just the way it is and everything's being rushed to get people in and out of hospitals. But because my pregnancy's gone so smoothly, sometimes it just feels like I'm a tick of the box, and I don't see my midwife because she's shielding, so I'm seeing different people every time. So the messages that you have with one person, they get put on notes, but you don't have the same conversation again. People don't remember you. It feels very impersonal at the moment. And so with a home birth, at least that way in my head, I would feel a bit more positive about the birth, knowing that the midwives who turn up will be focusing on me and the baby, and there'll be no reason why I can't have the things that I would want in my birth. Obviously things can happen, change, go wrong. I could change my mind on the day, but at least if I'm at home, Dan can be there from the get-go to the end. There will be no restriction in place for him visiting, and we'll be in a safe space that we'll feel comfortable in. And I think that will give me the most positive mindset to then have a positive labour. Obviously, as I say, things can change, but I just feel so down about this experience. I know like your routine appointments aren't meant to be fun or enjoyable, but even this morning I had one and it was very much, yep, come on in, the door stayed open, and it just felt like you're a tick of the box. And I don't know, I just feel really let down by the system at the moment, especially with some of these regulations. It doesn't make sense. You can go do a million different things in the, you know, economy at the moment, but you're still restricted on certain things. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out the best way to make it a positive experience for myself, and I think that would be it. I'm very ready for the baby to turn up now in some respects, because I think it would then just give me the jolt that I need to be like, right, this is my focus from now on. Like, she's obviously my main priority in everything I do at the moment, but more so when she's here and I can say, I can decide what happens and my hands aren't put in a certain place. So yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment, trying to find the best positive labour experience that we can have. And more so for Dan as well, because he's been left out of this whole experience so much because of corona. It isn't fair. Some people, I've had arguments online with people who have basically said like dads aren't essential or they're an unnecessary person to be there, and literally I kick it off because no one is going to tell me that my husband and the father of my baby is not essential or, you know, isn't needed, because he is, 100% he is, and I could not do it on my own. Even silly things like at the moment, if I have a bit of a bad day, he just needs to be there to pick me up a little bit because it's hard bloody work. And I don't think the dads get enough credit for how they have to keep going, because, you know, they don't want to be, they're restricted enough, they're not growing the baby. So that was quite a long tangent, but essentially I'd like to have a home birth if I can. So we'll probably find that out in 36 weeks, which is 4 weeks time. Is it? Yeah, 4 weeks time. Crazy. So yeah, that's my update for now. There's not much more to be said, but I'll put in a bump shot next, and I think I put a clip in at the beginning where I said I was so tired. I think that was what I did. I literally memories like a sieve. So yeah, hope you're doing well and hope you're finding these updates slightly interesting. They're more for my benefit. If people watch them and find them interesting too, then fabulous. But yeah, I look forward to catching up with you on the next one, which will either be a week or 2 weeks, whatever kind of happens. I'll just try and keep them up to date. And yeah, we'll catch up soon. Bye. Okay, so this is the bump at 32 weeks. We're getting very round now, and a little bit lower than before. They think she might be head down, but they're not sure yet. It's just very tall and very weird on the old belly button. But yeah, that is 32 weeks.